In the previous video, we learned how to set up a proper file to get started. We learned how to set up our units and how to draw in those units. So architectural units, drawing in feet, drawing in inches. So this is going to be a video on how to actually get started with an actual floor plan, which is something I didn't do in the previous video. So make sure you watch the video how to begin the pool house, because that one shows you how to set up your drawing units and files appropriately. So in this file, I've already done everything that I showed you in the last video, so I'm just going to get started. So making sure ortho's turned on, I'm going to grab my line command, and I'm going to start by drawing a vertical line. I'm going to go 23 feet long. And I'm going to right click and hit enter to end the command. Now, when I try to zoom out of this, it really doesn't want to work so well. What I want to do is be able to see the entire line on my screen. But this is quite long, a lot longer than we're used to using. So in the command line, I'm going to type in zoom, and I'm going to hit all. So this allows me to quickly move that line into my screen so I can see the entire thing. Now I'm going to continue on, line, snap to endpoint, and I'm going to type in 21 feet. And I'm going to come up vertically 5 feet, horizontally 7 feet, vertically 20 feet, horizontally 7 feet, vertically 8 feet, and then I can go back and just snap this closed, or I could type in 21 feet. Right click, left click, enter to escape. Okay, so I have the basic outline of my floor plan for my pool house. Now obviously yours won't look like mine. You'll probably have your own design. So every time I do a lesson, I'm going to try to use a different type of design for this project just to kind of keep it interesting. But this goes to show you that you can have something that is not just a square or a rectangle. You can have something a little more interesting in design, right? You're the designer. It's up to you. So I want to check to make sure this is in the square footage allowance, right? So the project states that we're supposed to be drawing this within 625 square feet. So the way to check this on the computer in our software is to type in area in the command line and hit enter. And then start somewhere on your drawing. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to click endpoint to endpoint, until I've kind of swept the entire project. I don't need to click where I began because I have everything accounted for. Once I see green and I've covered the entire area, I can hit enter, and it tells me on the screen that what my area is, but my square feet is 623. Right? It says that in two places on my screen. It says it near the command line. It also says it where the cursor is. Now, is that okay? Yes, it is. Our target is 625 square feet. Mine's 623. That is the bare undersize it can be to be considered full marks. You have to be within 2 square feet of 625, because no builder is going to get it perfect. They're always going to be out by a little bit less, a little bit more. They're not going to target 625, so you got to be within 2 square feet of it on the low side or the high side. Right? I could be any number in between. But perfectly at the bare minimum, this would be a 10 out of 10. Okay, so moving on. From here, the next step is to show some exterior wall thickness. Now, I'm going to go switch to the hub here. And there's a file that's been visible for a while called wall sections. I want you to click and open this up. And this tells you wall sections in a brick stone finish, a stucco finish, or a siding finish. So you have to select one of these only, right? You're going to pick one exterior finish, and you're going to be looking at the imperial sizes, not the metric, because we're drawing this in imperial, as you know, architectural units, feet, and inches. So the first thing that goes down is the stud. This is made of wood. So this is going to be a 2x6. So that's the width, 5.5 inches. We have a sheathing that goes on next, which is an insulation. We have an airspace, and then finally we finish with the brick and stone. Right? This is typically what you see in North America. You see a lot of brick stone. But when you get down into the south, when you get to California, Southern California, near Mexico, you see a lot of stucco. So don't be afraid of stucco. If you're not sure what stucco is, look it up online. Go to Google Images. It's basically a textured finish. It's kind of like a blank finish that's textured, right? The best way is for you to kind of look it up and see what it looks like. But again, it finishes with a scratch coat, right? So all these sizes are different offsets that can be used, right? And then finally we have siding. You don't see this too much anymore, but somebody is turned on the vacuum cleaner. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can hear that, but the things we learn when we're trying to work from home. So continuing on. We're going to start with an offset, and we're going to type in 5-1/2. And we're going to offset all around the floor plan. We want to make sure that we're offsetting outward, not inward. All right, right click, left click, enter to end that command. So that is the stud. Next is the sheathing. So that's going to be a 1/2 inch offset, 1/2. And don't be afraid to zoom in on this really, really close, because you could accidentally make a mistake. You don't want to accidentally offset inward, because that's going to screw things up. Okay, so there is the sheathing. Right click, left click, enter to escape that. Next is airspace. That's going to be 1 inch. Offset, 1. Outward, notice how when I offset, I'm always using the last line, the previous line I offset prior. Okay. And the last one for brick and stone is the brick and stone, 3.5 inches. So we're going to offset, type in 3-1/2. Okay, so I've got all the outside wall thicknesses accounted for. Now, the next thing we're going to work on is joining up these corners. I'm going to show you the easy way to do that. So we're going to use the fillet command, and we're going to select R for radius, and we're going to type in 0 as our value. And then you just click the 2 lines and join them up like this. So brick to brick, airspace to airspace, sheathing to sheathing, and I just right click and repeat, left click, repeat fill when I do this, and stud to stud. All right, so that's the easiest way to fix that. I wouldn't try to grab these lines as grips and pull them up and try to meet them. Way too much work. Much easier to use this method that I just showed you. Now, in this case, we've got some trimming to do, right? You're going to have to trim these lines away. So we're going to go trim. And then you're just going to trim the corresponding lines that meet each other, right? So there's our brick. This is going to be our airspace. Right click, repeat trim. Like that. Perfect. And you just go around the perimeter of this and you just fix up all your corners, right? There's quite a few to do here in mine. You may have more, you may have less. But that is the conclusion of this lesson. This is how to get started with your exterior wall thicknesses. So give that a try for your pool house, and we'll talk soon.